Hey friends, I am popping in here because I'm working on something and I wondered if others might be also working on the strategy for, I'll call it the fourth quarter of the year. And this is why this is important is many of us are going to be setting some goals here in a few months at the new year. And what I'm learning, and I have been on this journey learning, is we don't have to wait till the first of the year to actually get really some clarity on what we want to accomplish and actually come into the new year instead of ready to put it all into gear on the first, but to actually take this fourth quarter of the year, this last few months, and really dial it in and set the momentum so that we're not just going to start at the new year, but we're already going to have a step ahead of ourself on the journey. And I'm learning this, that what sets people apart is there's a lot of people that right now in October, November, and December, they're slowly going in a different direction, and they're slowly like creeping up and creeping up and creeping up in their weight. They're kind of putting the brakes on their life weight. Well, I'll wait till next year to focus on that. And they actually get, instead of coming into the new year like ready to hit it in, they're 10 or 15 pounds behind. And so now they're losing that 10 or 15 pounds that they gained over this last 3 months, instead of being that 10 to 15 pounds down and feeling amazing going into the new year and setting that momentum. And so I wanted to give you some tips if you are like me and I want to enter 2023 strong and in my stride. I don't want to wait till 2023 to set my stride. And that has changed for me, because how many of us start something in January and we lose our stuff and before we get anywhere, March, and they say it's like 3 months. But what I'm learning is this is the time in my community, we actually start talking about what are our goals? How do we want to end the year? What are we going to do to end the year strong? And somebody's actually speaking this into me daily. Like, what are you doing to move yourself forward between October and December 31st? What are some things that I'm working on is I want to dial in my nutrition. Does that mean I need to be perfect? No, but it means I want to really curb my sugars. I want to be really paying attention to the processed foods. I do want to have a plan how I'm going to navigate through Halloween, how I'm going to navigate through Thanksgiving, and how I'm going to navigate through Christmas parties, the Christmas holiday season itself, the whole thing. And how do I want to look and feel on January the 1st? And what I have found is I have so much support for myself on this journey that it helps me stay in my mind. But it starts today. I don't wait till January anymore. That used to be what we did. We used to wait till January and then, oh yeah, like the couple days before we'd set our intentions for the year. And then by March, we've lost it. So I found that you can be doing two things in life. You can be sleepwalking through your life and it just happens to you and you wake up one day overweight or obese, exhausted, tired, and not really sure what to do. Or you can start on a path and become more aware, more intentional, and making choices that move the dial forward. I never had that before. I never had somebody just help me create that compass in my life as to what do you want? Where do you want to go? Where do you see yourself? Where do you see yourself a year from now? And as I started to change the way I talked to myself and asked myself questions, I started to see a different future unfold. And I'm going to tell you, I cannot tell you how grateful I am to be in a community where people get us. They get that it's so easy to fall back into old patterns and old habits, and we get off track. It doesn't matter how long you've been on the journey. It is really easy to fall backward into the old mindsets and the old patterns. We have to keep moving forward. And when you spend a lot of time around other people who are moving forward in their own life, and you start to see other ways people are making that for themselves, it starts to elevate how I see myself and how I stretch myself and how I personally will encourage myself. And in a community, when you have other people moving along the same path, we're all on a different place of the path, right? But we're all going in the same journey. We all want a better life and better health for ourselves and better well-being. But when you're walking alongside other people, there's that accountability piece. But I found that it's in those communities that I've been putting myself into that I want to get better. I signed up for a 5K this weekend. It's my first one since COVID, so in a couple years. And it's because I joined this running group and they got me inspired that why aren't I running in for fun, even in these little competitions? And so I am starting to elevate myself, but it's putting ourselves in those communities that help us make us see that there is another path, there is another way, and I can be better. Although I don't find it like I'm not in competition with them, I'm in competition with me. I want a better life than yesterday. I want a better New Year's than yesterday. I want a better 2023 than 2022. But it starts today. It starts today. Like today is when I'm building that momentum up to help me to land it on the new year, but then to actually hit the new year in momentum. And I was thinking about that. I heard it on a podcast this morning, and the gentleman was talking about, yeah, you go to a football game, and a lot of times, a lot of the action is in the fourth quarter. They aren't sitting on the sidelines. Well, the game is done. So a lot of times you'll see most of the action take place in the fourth quarter, and it sets momentum for the next game and the next game and the next game. And it's not any different in our life. But how many of us as human beings, we start putting the brakes on in October and we're like, oh, but then there's Halloween and then there's this and there's all these opportunities to consume. And it throws us off. So just giving you some headspace today, things I'm working on, I'm actually doubled down. I'm doubling down and I am focused on my nutrition, my hydration, my healthy movement, my healthy surroundings. I'm creating that so that I actually know for certain that I'm going to get where I'm going by the time the new year starts. Are you? Have a great Tuesday.